Okay, so we are back. Welcome back to 500 Miles. I am your host, Adam Relkin, joined by my normal co-host,
Brody Wojcik, what's up?
and
Welcome back.
joining us this week for our first ever third co-host slot is Sean Gormely from UNOH and a crew member for Fast Track Racing. Nice to have you on with us, Sean, this week.
Yep.
So this weekend at Sonoma ended up being very interesting. I mean, probably in my opinion, though, I thought it probably was the weakest out of the road races in Cup this year. But at the same time, uh, it the main question again is, could anybody beat SVG? The answer to that was no. Nobody could beat SVG this week. And
It is remarkable. It is really remarkable. Shane, I don't even know what to say. I got the whole argument. I'm not letting him in the playoffs with 1 win. 2 wins, okay, you're starting to get weird. He's got 3 wins now. I don't care if they're on road courses. Let the guy in. I don't
yeah,
care at this point anymore. Like, he's shown him that it wasn't a fluke.
yeah,
He's shown that he can do it
absolutely.
twice. Let the guy in the playoffs. Because who else is going to be in the play? There's going to be. He's honestly probably taking the slot of someone who's gonna luck his way in, like Austin Dillon or someone. So
Yeah, but again, he led 97 out of 110 laps, which I believe I saw a statistic that is the most laps led on a road course since Cale Yarborough 1 year, I think.
wow.
Something like that. Like, that just goes to show you how insane this guy is. And, like, he
Mhm.
has the most wins. He has the most, well, in he's also the quickest in the modern era to get to 4 wins. I don't think anyone has gotten 4 wins that quickly since maybe Tony Stewart, I think.
It was oh god, it was Dan Gurney who has the record, who got 4 and 11 starts, but he cherry picked his starts like
Yeah.
specifically for that. So SVG, like full time, is the quickest to that ever.
Yep.
And just thinking about it, I think that this is the guy who might actually be the best road racer of all time we've ever seen in NASCAR at this point.
I think so. I
At
think
this
so too.
like Dan Gurney was incredible, but at this point it might be SVG. Like, he might actually be the best road racer we've ever seen. And it's a shame that some other guys, never got their chance to, shine the same way SVG has. Like, I would have loved to have seen what would have happened if guys like Ron Fellows or Boris Said could have ran this many road races in top equipment, because those are guys that I feel could have been up there too.
hmm
Mhm.
And
Or even if you got guys like Marcos Ambrose in top equipment, I think he could have done a pretty dominant job. I know he was in that 9 car, which is pretty bad fast, but also you have to consider the fact that back when Fellows and Ambrose and them ran, there was just Sonoma and the Glen. Now we got 7 road courses, so SVG
six,
is kind of in a. There's
six,
6?
yeah, it's
I'm losing
six.
my mind. I thought there was a 7th. Okay. Well, anyways, my point still stands. That's 3 times the amount of road courses than we had even a decade ago. So SVG is going to get more chances to win. It should not be attracted from his skill. However, he has many more chances to show up and win as compared to the rest of the guys. So
Yep. Another funny stat that I also saw was that the 88 hauler, and this comes from Rodney Childers, the 88 hauler is apparently the same hauler that the 4 team with Kevin Harvick used. So, kind of a little funny
ooh, okay.
stat
Mm.
from Rodney Childers. I think that hauler now has like over 40 wins. So, kind of a funny stat that Rodney gave away from this weekend. Kind of feel that, as I said, this was kind of one of the weaker road races on the Cup schedule. I mean, but SVG, he still, yet again, got it done when it mattered the most, and I just really got to give him credit. Like, I saw Chase Briscoe also joked saying that I was the best race car today. SVG was a rocket ship compared to me.
That's a good way of putting it. I can't argue with that one.
Yeah, and Sean, do you have any thoughts on Sonoma?
I thought Sonoma's like I didn't really watch the full thing. I was busy doing other stuff. Like I did watch some parts of it. Other than that, it was pretty all right from what I saw.
Yeah. So, like, Admittedly, though, I kind of was a bit bored, just from my own admittance. But like, I did think at the same time, though, that SVG's dominance cannot be ignored. And is he even going to be stopped? Like, are we going to have to wait until Connor Zilisch next year? Like,
I'm really interested to see how Connor Zilisch performs. Is he going to be that's the one thing. I just don't want him to be rushed. That's the number. I think we talked about that a couple weeks ago. Is the worst thing you can do to a NASCAR prospect is rush him, and I'm just worried that we're rushing Zilisch. I know that this is some young talent that has like never before been seen. This 18-year-old. It's just crazy because like it's this guy who's younger than all of us, and is just
yeah,
putting in this insane amount. He's already shown his dominance in the lower series. I just don't want to see that opportunity being wasted. This is someone who you can truly create into a superstar. He's young. Again, this guy is still a teenager. He has so much time to develop. Let him go till he's 22, 23 in Xfinity. Then throw him in Cup. I know there's a rush to get him there because he's like this, once in a millennia prospect for NASCAR. Don't do it. Because he's going to get into that Cup car and he's going to have an average finish of 28th place next year if they go through with this, and don't give him the support that he needs. If Trackhouse overperforms and over succeeds for him, I would be happy to prove it wrong. Trust me, I want to see Zilisch perform well. I'm just not confident in teams not rushing their guys up because there are so many guys that 1,000% could have been better, had much better careers if they weren't rushed. I feel like Stenhouse was rushed. Prime example for someone who's getting rushed, Daniel Suarez. That guy could have been so much better. He could
speaking
have
of
been so much better.
Suarez, speaking
Speaking of Suarez,
and Trackhouse, there was also a teammate tussle between both Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez. I think this was in stage one.
Yep, stage one.
Yeah, teammates got together in turn 11, and Suarez he didn't treat Chastain like a teammate on the radio. That's for sure.
That happens.
Yeah, that
Especially with
does.
Ross Chastain.
Yeah, but again, I mean, what I still and I mean, Trackhouse did end up sweeping both stages, but not with SVG. Ross Chastain ended up winning stage one as he stayed out. SVG, though, made his way all the way up to second despite pitting. And then in stage two, he ends up pitting, but yet he doesn't flip the stage because he still passes the guy who stays out. Like, that was
Wow,
incredible.
that was incredible.
And that's why, again, his drive was absolutely amazing this week. And also, and something though that did happen in I think it was stage two, that I know Sean definitely has a lot of words to say about, was the incident between Brad Keselowski and Ty Gibbs on pit road.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like from the replays we've seen, and I know some people have like me have come to the conclusion that we may have jumped the gun on judgment here. Looking at what happened, if you look at the replay, you'll see you're going to see the pit crews right here, and you're going to see Ty Gibbs kind of come in, kind of nearly hits one of the pit crews.
He hit the tire carrier, but only the tire.
Only the tire. Yeah, only hit the tire.
That's why he only had like a minor wrist injury. Like he was fine after because he
like
hit
if
the
you
tire
see
and
it, like the tire literally it just twisted all the way, like it twisted all the way around. I thought that like he broke his wrist or something.
Yeah,
but turns out that he was completely fine.
Yeah, and I know following the pit stops that Ty Gibbs and Brad Keselowski had, there was then a tussle on pit road as well. I tend to say that word a lot. Where the crew member of the 6 who got hit goes over to the 54 crews, and then they start fist fighting. Mm-hmm. And TNT, I know, took a bit to catch it, but they did show the footage, and it's interesting how it took crew members to fight before the drivers this year. But
we still have not had a fight yet for
drivers, but we do for crew members. But we did for crew members, I guess. So that did happen. NASCAR security had to be called. They had to break it up. That ended there. I know, though, following that, NASCAR did review to see if Ty Gibbs did anything wrong. The conclusion they made was that there was no wrongdoing. And while I know a lot of us at first were like, oh, he definitely did that on purpose, suspend him, fine him, But at the same time, looking back at it, it kind of seems like from replays that maybe the sixth crew member was too far out. Shauna, is that correct?
From what I saw, like he was a bit far out. It's just that like so what basically from what I'm remembering, he was like the only crew member that wasn't on top of or alongside the pit wall when the cars are coming in. So this was the pit wall. He was like everybody was like right here, right here. He was sort of like right here. Like he was close to it, but not that close. Like you could probably like walk past him.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. So it kind of seems like that, and just for the record, both teams did review the footage. Like RFK themselves, they reviewed the footage. Their competition director reviewed it. Joe Gibbs Racing, Chris Gabehart, he reviewed it. Jeremy Bones, the crew chief, he also reviewed it. And both sides seem to actually agree. Even RFK Racing seemed to be okay with no penalty being issued to Ty Gibbs. Following that, I remember watching this on the teardown with Bianchi and Gluck that it seemed like that the teams had no issue with no penalty, but at the same time, NASCAR did say that they were going to investigate the fight. Today, there have been no penalties issued. NASCAR has announced no penalties issued for the 54 and 6 brawl. So, seems like that's been moved on. Nothing happens to either team, but I did find this interesting from Bozy Todorovic. He mentioned that apparently the crew guy that from the 54 team that the 6 guy tried to fight, that 54 guy apparently was the same guy that got hit by Brad Keselowski when Brad was driving the 2 at Pocono in 2015.
Oh.
Yeah, apparently that's the
when
same.
the tire went flying?
Yeah. Yeah, apparently that's
Yeah,
the same.
that was Pocono.
Yeah, this was the same guy that was working for Brad that's now working on the 54 team that the 6 crew guy went over and started fighting with. So that's what happened there. I definitely wanted to discuss this because I knew Sean, you had a lot of knowledge in this as a guy who's
Yeah.
worked as a crew member and part of the behind the wall club
Over the Wall Club.
the over the wall club at UNOH.
So the thing with Over the Wall Club is that it's not really over the wall. It's titled Race Club, which is just getting to work for a team like myself at Fast Track. Over the Wall Club, like you could sort of see it as like a bonus to it, where like Over the Wall Club teaches you about pit stops. Race Club is what gets you to work for a team, and Over the Wall Club then lets you do the pit stops for them.
Do you have any
if that makes sense.
Do you have any intentions of eventually moving up to that club in the future?
No, I'm actually in it right now. Like,
oh, you are you're in both clubs.
It's really one, like, you're a part of one thing and then you're a part of the other. Like, you could be a part of Race Club, but not be a part of Over the Wall Club, because there's people that I know who only do like behind the wall stuff, and then there's people who mostly do just the pit stops and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think at the same time, it's definitely something to keep an eye on because this was something that I thought was like, when I saw this, I was like, oh, you definitely have a lot to speak about this. Because I remember you were talking about it after it happened on Sunday when Ty Gibbs nearly hit that crew member. And I know why some people may have been concerned about this, considering Ty Gibbs has a history of things on pit road. If you remember Texas in 2022, he hit Ty Dillon on pit road on purpose. But here
that was crazy.
it seemed like though here that it may not have been on purpose. It seemed like that this was not on purpose from my judgment. Brody, do you have any thoughts on this?
If anything, I feel like that what he did was like just to mess with them, like get into the Sixes team's head and just be like, yeah, I'm right here. Like, this is my pit stall. As like,
yeah, because they're right next to each other.
Yeah, they were like, Ty Gibbs was in front of Brad, and what Ty Gibbs could do is that like he could just straight up drive through well, according to the rules, I might get into that a bit more later on. Like he could literally just like pass through the six's pit stall and then get into his own pit stall perfectly fine.
Now, how many pit stalls would it be for a penalty? Just to refresh my memory.
So the rule is that on entry and exit of your pit stall, you're only allowed to go through at most 3. And that could
Okay.
be like it could be 3 on entry, 3 on exit, 2 on entry, 1 on exit, whatever it like if you cross through a fourth one, then it's going to be a penalty.
Okay. So I think that also was what NASCAR was basing the
Yeah,
penalty.
I feel like that's the main reason why NASCAR went out and said, "Hey, there was like no wrongdoing with what
Yeah.
Ty Gibbs did."
Yeah, because if he went through a fourth pit box, then they would have penalized him for that, and
Yeah.
probably would have had to start the tail end because wasn't this at the end? Well, no, he would have had a pass through because it was green flag pit stops. He would have had a pass through, but even then, the stage was coming to an
I
end.
don't remember what the penalty is though.
It's
I
one
don't
lap.
remember.
On a road courses, it's a pass through still. I'm pretty sure.
No.
So Gibbs, if he did go through a fourth pit box, he would have had to pass through. They may have let him just start at the tail end because it was the end of the stage, towards the end of the stage. Don't remember how many laps were left, so it would have been a break for him. But it could have been a break for him had they said, "Oh, you can just start at the tail end." But at the same time, though, with how big Sonoma is, I don't think it would have really hurt him either way, having him either serve the penalty under green or under caution by starting at the rear. So would have been don't think it would have made much of a difference either way. In addition, there was also we also had with SVG flipping the stage. Well, not flipping the stage and still winning it anyway. Going into stage 3, that's when things kind of started to break loose a little bit. I think it was Blaney who got stuck in the grass.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like,
people were saying on Twitter he should have went for the jump, which I thought was funny.
Oh yeah, the jump from the jump
Heat
from
games, yeah.
the jump from NASCAR 2012 inside line.
yeah,
The jump that everyone did in that game. I guess that's what people were saying. People were also comparing that to Lightning McQueen getting stuck in cars after falling off the canyon.
oh yeah,
After falling into Carburetor Canyon, like people were comparing that to that, so that was kind of funny. But sucks for Blaney though because he had to get towed out. Interesting though that NASCAR threw the caution instantly for that. My guess is that NASCAR was quickly realizing there's no way he can get out of there. I'm thinking that after what happened at Chicago the prior week, NASCAR may have been like, okay, we have to monitor this much better no matter what. If we see anybody stuck there, we're just going to assume they're not going to get out. So I'm guessing maybe that could have been part of the judgment there as to why they threw it very quickly for Blaney, which definitely understandable there because has anyone ever gotten stuck there?
Not that I can recall.
No.
not that I remember.
I know people have gotten into the tire barriers in turns 1 and 2 when Steve Park and Ken Schrader flipped in the same race, but I don't think anyone's ever gotten stuck on the hill there as far as I can remember at Sonoma. But following that, I know, then following that, things kind of were calm again. Cody Ware then lost a tire, which made everything get chaotic.
While the commentators were talking about him.
Who?
While the commentators were talking
Yeah,
about him doing a very good job. Suddenly the right front or the right rear tire comes out.
The announcer jinx have been on a whole nother level this year. Because remember Texas when Harvick's like, "Oh, Kyle Busch is running really good," and then Mike Joy's like, "No!" Like that's literally it's happened like so many races this year. The announcer jinx, like it's off the charts this year with how many there've been. And then in addition, following that, pit stops happen again. We have there's another wreck that happens. Noah Gragson, Eric Jones. I think a few other guys were involved. Gregson ended up being taken out of the race. Following that, we then had another caution. Stenhouse gets in the tire barriers, which that ended up, which like with the Blaney caution, NASCAR was thankfully very quick on it. But at the same time, I think it was because those tire barriers were going to have to be repaired no matter what.
Yeah, they got too loose to
Yeah.
do anything.
So they probably were like, we have to throw it anyway, even if Stenhouse did pull from the scene, but with a caution but with the tire barriers being out there like that, that poses a safety risk. They had to repair them. I thought they were going to red flag it, but I'm guessing he didn't really tear into them too much to warrant a red flag. Because I know people were saying that why aren't they throwing the red flag? But at the same time, it didn't seem like it warranted it. When they went back green again, when they went back green, there was another wreck. But I know Kyle Larson got damaged really badly. I think Blaney was involved in another one there. His bad luck. Blaney's bad luck. We keep talking about it almost every episode. It's not looking good.
I know, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, but he's got to be thankful that he's got to win this year, because he's got to
If
be.
not, he would not be making the playoffs.
Yeah, he's got. He would still be making it probably right now, but he's got to be really glad that he's got that win under his belt. Then obviously SVG ended up taking the win. If I look at the results here, he actually did not get fastest lap. It was actually Justin Haley. I don't know if anyone caught that. So that bonus point goes to Justin Haley.
Really?
Yeah,
Haley got that.
Yeah, the bonus point goes to Justin Haley. Chase Briscoe ended up being the fastest race car on the track, but not the fastest rocket ship. But even then, like, Briscoe was doing the best he could with SVG at the end there, and he just couldn't figure him out. Like, everyone looks at the data that SVG runs, and they can't figure it out. But yeah, Michael McDowell, always a threat at Sonoma. He finished in 4th. I know Chase Elliott was 3rd. Ty Gibbs, he did come back to finish 7th. Kyle Busch finished in 10th, and for the second week in a row, after spinning, Kyle Busch finishes in the top 10. Like, how many times has Kyle Busch wrecked this year? It's got to be almost every race.
Gotta be double digits by now.
And Kyle Busch is still just barely outside the playoffs. He's like 17th, I think. 18th? He's like 17th. He's like,
I think 17th, yeah.
Yeah, he's like 30 below the cut line. And yet he's still running. Like, what's going on? Like, is Kyle Busch like ever gonna stop spinning? Like, I feel like it happens every week now. I may as well bet $100 right now that Kyle Busch is gonna spin this week at Dover. Unfortunately, and I hate it, and I hate seeing Kyle Busch like this, because Kyle Busch has never been like this. Like, what happened? I mean, Denny Hamlin is 45 and he's not wrecking every week. So, like, I don't think he has an excuse. Like, Kyle Busch, at this point, he doesn't have an excuse. I hate saying that because I want Kyle to run good, but he doesn't have an excuse at this point.
I think he's just trying to wait out his contract and then just go from there, because you got to remember, he's still like helping Brexton with his racing career, and that's been his main focus.
Yeah, I think with
that's
Kyle,
really all that I could think about, is that like he's just there just like make the money and then just wait until Brexton's old enough to run in trucks, and then have Brexton go through trucks and Xfinity, and then into Cup, see how that goes.
Yeah. Kyle, though, has said he wants to race in Cup for another 5 years. And he did re-sign on a 1-year extension with Richard Childress, mostly because any other option probably would not be better. Like, we know Trackhouse has a seat open, but again, I feel like Trackhouse in its current state would be a downgrade from they'd be a downgrade from Richard Childress. So, like, I don't know if so that probably is why Kyle was like, I got to stick with Richard Childress. I mean, there's no seats open at 2311, no seats open at JGR, no seats open at Hendrick, none open at Penske. Like, nobody's open. Like, the only one that's open is Trackhouse, and we all know who's going there. So, like, that's kind of what's happening there. And, I mean, if any other ride opens up, which there could be a ride or two that could maybe open up, like, this is going to be a quiet, silly season. And because not many rides are going to open up, Kyle Busch doesn't really have many options. So he probably was like, I'll do another year with you, Richard. So, that's just kind of something to think about. Want to also give credit to RFK for how they ran yesterday, because all three of their cars were running really well yesterday. I know last week, Brody, you said Chris Buescher was one of your picks to watch for this week.
As always on road courses.
Yeah,
yes.
Chris Buescher. And I mean, he ran really well. I don't remember where he finished, but he was running well, and then something bad happened. I don't remember what it was. But yeah, Suarez came back to finish in 14th, so good for him there. Brad
You
and
want to talk
Brian
about a really like impressive
Buescher was
comeback with
16th.
Christopher Bell. He was running in the top 5 pretty much the whole day. Had that mishap where he just lost it coming off the apex of the hill in that'd be turn 2, and he was running like 21st, 22nd. He finished back up in 5th, so he had a really solid day.
Yeah,
Great
he
comeback.
finished in 5th. And then the Cinderella story of the in-season tournament. I know
Ty Dillon!
everyone was going crazy over it. I imagine Sean, you saw how everyone was reacting in all the Discord servers out there.
I wasn't really focusing that much,
but
to be honest.
but Ty Dillon bumps Alex Bowman on the last lap, and in turn 11. Well, not the last turn. There's one more turn.
Actually, yeah, because
turn 12 goes right into the start finish line.
Hairpin.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
11,
but
the big hairpin, yeah.
Yeah, and turn 11, that's where all madness breaks loose at Sonoma.
I don't remember them showing it on TV though.
They did show a replay on. They did show a replay of it. They did show a replay of it later in the broadcast, but
yeah.
Ty Dillon.
It was inside. I forget who he did. He get around. It was either Haley or Allmendinger. I forget. It was one of the two that he drove around. And
Allmendinger.
It was Allmendinger. So he drove around them and he was able to just snag that by I think he won by 2 positions actually.
Yeah, he got it by 2 positions over Alex Bowman, and everyone throughout the whole race was like cheering on Ty Dillon. Like, did anyone think the 32 seed would be going for the Final Four? No.
Especially
Ty Dillon. Ty Dillon, like,
genuinely, okay, if we're talking about most garbage drivers in NASCAR history, Ty Dillon is like top 5.
I don't know about that.
Drivers in history.
Remember 2017 at Dover?
I don't know about that. And just because of Dover, and because Ty Dillon is actually good at Dover.
Guess what's this weekend?
It's Dover, so Ty Dillon could
Just saying.
Yeah, I think
he was in the 13 at the time and he got it to 4th.
Yeah. And then he got wrecked by Eric Jones, unfortunately. No, it was either Jones or Newman that spun him on the last restart, caused a really big pileup right in front of where I was sitting as well. But yeah, so what's funny about it? He also beat the guy that he's going to be facing off against at Sonoma. Like, John Hunter Nemechek finished back in 28th. So I wouldn't say it's out of the question that Ty Dillon could make it to the finals. But yeah, I mean, but yeah, we'll definitely get into that soon. But yeah, Ty Dillon makes it in. Hendrick Motorsports, their Twitter account or their social media accounts in general, posted how they thought the Cinderella story was going to end, but then Cullig fired back with something like the glass slipper still fits. You gotta love that.
But I would have thought it would have been hilarious. Now, I don't know the last time, I know how involved you guys are in baseball, but during Game 1 of the 2024 World Series when Freddie Freeman hit that walk-off grand slam,
that was awesome to watch.
Talking baseball, Jake Storiell posted on Twitter, big Yankees account, a graphic, Yankees win, like 5 seconds before the home run. I would have thought it was the most hilarious thing if Hendrick would have posted like a graphic, like confident that he would get in, but they didn't. I was like, I would have been the funniest thing ever to laugh at. But yeah, so he's up against JHN, and honestly, I say he beats JHN this weekend.
I think he can. I mean, Legacy itself isn't really the best at Dover. Like, last year all three cars were running like in the low 20s, high 30s last year. I mean, it was also the one race in a while that Jimmy Johnson had finally had nothing bad happen, though, so at least they had a win
Yeah.
there. But Jimmy Johnson not running this week, so that can't happen again. But I know also in the in-season tournament, a few of the other knockouts were trying to remember off the top of my head. Uh, trying to remember some of the other in-season tournament knockouts. Uh, Tyler Reddick
I'm not
got
sure.
bumped out by. Tyler Reddick got bumped out, but no, Reddick did make
Yeah,
it.
Reddick's in. It's
No,
Reddick and Gibbs versus Nemechek and
yeah.
Dillon.
So the bracket from this week, the results from this week are uh, Ty Dillon beats Alex Bowman, John Hunter Nemechek beats Eric Jones, Tyler Reddick beats Ryan Preece, and Ty Gibbs beats Zane Smith. Those are the results from that. So we'll definitely keep track of who's going to win that for going into this. And then also something else to note, and I know you predicted it. Denny Hamlin did not have a good race at Sonoma.
I know. Yeah, he's never done well at
He
Sonoma.
he also got nabbed for speeding at the end there on the last cycle. Yeah,
Okay, well, it's Denny Hamlin. Of course, he's always gonna
speed on pit road.
just speed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's either him or Kyle Busch speeding on pit road nowadays. But yeah, Hamlin also was seen congratulating Ty Dillon on the cooldown lap as well. There. So the Xfinity race, as we mentioned, SVG, we thought he was going to be the dominating force, but it ended up being Connor Zilisch taking the win. And Zilisch, it's his third win of the year, and his average finish since his injury has been incredible. I don't think he's finished worse than like fifth, I think.
His average finish is like 2.8.
since coming back from injury. So like
back injury, yeah.
So like the stuff he's put up this year has been incredible. I mean, that Pocono win really sealed the deal. And considering he beat SVG, who's like the best on the road courses, I am so excited for what's going to happen at Watkins Glen next month, because I think Zilisch could actually beat out SVG at Watkins Glen when we get there for a Cup, because Zilisch is running the 87 there. And
oh, okay.
Something else of note this week, Red Bull also got their first victory in NASCAR since Casey Kane at Phoenix in 2011, which was the second to last race ever for Red Bull Racing in the Cup Series.
I was going to say, back when Red Bull Racing was a team in NASCAR, not just F1.
But yeah, in addition, this week, we also had the ARCA West running at Sonoma, which was a dominating performance by William Sawalich. And while he did lead every lap, we thought he lost it at the end there. Everyone thought he lost it at the end there, but he came back and got it done in I think what might have been the closest finish in Sonoma racing history, as a matter of fact, because it was a photo finish there at the end between Sawalich and Christian Eckes.
3 wide.
Yeah, Alain Day was also going for it. So close to getting that win. Like, Alain Day, I mean, came so close to winning at Lime Rock, came this close to, again, trying to win this week at Sonoma. So I feel pretty bad for him. But if I go to the Xfinity, but yeah, I did also forget to look at the underdog finishes in Xfinity. We also had, and Sawalich actually finished third. I remember seeing people say, "Oh, he's going to just run 25th after winning in ARCA," but he ended up finishing third. So maybe he's got something cut out at Sonoma. Nick Sanchez got fourth. Austin Green, I know I shout him out almost every time we go to a road course, but there's a reason. He gets 11th. Great run for this kid. And Josh Bilicki, it was also really nice seeing Josh Bilicki got 14th. Really nice seeing Will Rogers as well running with the Cope family team. Like, that was really fun seeing Will Rogers come back again. But yeah, I think but yes, there was also some really bad luck for some guys. Like Jesse Love had an issue, I know. Alex LeBay in the 07. He finished. He got stage points as well, and then something happened. So I feel pretty bad. And then Sage Karam,
also had some issues.
the luck has got to get better for him. I feel so bad for Sage Karam. Like, and then Christian Eckes can never catch a break at this point. Dean Thompson is beating all 3 colleague drivers in points right now. Where even are we right now? Like, think about it. Dean Thompson in the 26 car is beating all three colleague racing drivers in points right now. How did we get to that point? I really want to know. The announcers this week also didn't have to deal with confusion because the other Austin Hill did not qualify for the race.
Austin M. Hill or whatever, yeah.
J. Hill. Austin J. Hill. So the announcers this week thankfully didn't get confused during the race, but he is going to be back for the other 3 road races in Xfinity at Watkins Glen, Portland, and the Roval. So I guess that's another chance for the announcers in the CW booth to get confused on which Austin Hill is which. But before the race, they also were announcing something about how the race was gonna be back for 2026. The banner in the background also had the Truck Series there. So could the Truck Series, I guess, be returning to Sonoma again next year? Like, we'll find out. I mean, they ran Sonoma in 2022, and then I think they were there in the 90s as well. I could be wrong.
Well, Boris said won a truck race there, so
yeah, I think it was around then when they.
Let me see.
Yeah, I think they ran Sonoma in the 90s in the trucks as well.
Boris said one in the trucks in 98.
98, so yes. And then they came back again for a one-off in 22. That got replaced by Xfinity. I don't know if that means the ARCA West date is maybe going to go away from Sonoma. I mean, I know they've been doing that forever, but maybe they're going to move that to like San Diego because, again, the rumors about San Diego coming to the Cup schedule, they are brewing faster and faster. And like, I don't know if they're going to have what support series they could have at San Diego, but just as an advocacy point of things, if they go to San Diego, if they do indeed go to San Diego, they're looking at apparently running at Coronado, I think, for the street race. I hope they bring the ARCA West guys as a companion there if Sonoma goes away, just because ARCA West's heart is in SoCal, and they just lost Irwindale. So it would really, and I know it's just a street race, but it would be really special to many guys down there in SoCal to see ARCA West go to the San Diego street race if that does indeed happen. Not Brett Griffin, I'm getting them mixed up. Freddie Kraft on Door Bumper Clear also mentioned that there's talk that Mexico City might actually be gone as well, in addition to Chicago, and that San Diego would be replacing Mexico, and that potentially Chicago will be replaced by Chicagoland. But more likely Chicago goes to Mexico.
Carson, host of our.
Oh boy. Thanks, Carson. Yeah, you can thank Carson for 2 reasons there, actually. But that's what might be happening there. Another notable thing was that Brett Griffin, not Brett Griffin, Freddie Kraft, also mentioned that they might be having what's his name? They might be having Moss Sport back as well. I don't know if that's going to be trucks again, or if maybe he mixed it up with Montreal. But if Moss Sport comes back for trucks, that'd be really fun too, because those races were really fun for the trucks. And I mean, I remember for the trucks, there have been a lot of schedule rumors. There's rumors that Milwaukee's going to be returning for the truck series. And on the same show, Tommy Baldwin, I don't know if he got it mixed up or not, but I don't know if he got it mixed up, but he said that Dodge or Ram, they want to run 8 trucks next year, or they're planning to run 8 trucks next year,
8?
which would be more than the 4 to 6 that they had promised. I don't know if Tommy Baldwin got the numbers mixed up, but that could go hand in hand with some of the other rumors we've heard as well as of late. I know Nice Motorsports confirmed that they are not switching to Ram next year, but they were also talking about. But I know it's been also discussed Rhett Jones potentially going to Ram. I know Cletus could have a role in Ram. I don't know if that would be with Rhett Jones. There's also the rumor recently regarding Rahal leaving BMW. That bombshell report suggested that Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan might be opening a NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series team. So could that be where Ram gets their big team involved. Like, and then obviously we all know about GMS potentially being part of it as well. So, I think it's something we definitely have to keep our eyes on. But a Ray Hall GMS, Rhett Jones lineup for Dodge or Ram would be kind of cool, I think.
For
Just some,
sure.
just something to keep an eye on, especially. But it should be noted though that bombshell report did suggest that Ray Hall could instead also just open an Indy NXT team, which is the feeder series to IndyCar. IndyCar this week was also pretty fun at Iowa. First race was a bit of a snoozer, but thankfully it was made up by the fact that Pato O'Ward finally scored his first win. I think this is the first non-Honda win of the year. I I think it's the first
I
non-Honda.
wouldn't be surprised by that.
Yeah, Chevy, I believe, got their first checkered flag of the year in IndyCar. Second race was a lot better at Iowa for IndyCar, which was the next day. While it did go to Alex Palou, it was a really fun watch, especially with battles between Joseph Newgarden, who finally had a good race for once, as well as trying to remember some of the other guys. David Malukas going for the win, trying to remember who was leading the majority of that race towards the end there, but Malukas was battling somebody for the win really hard. Just trying to remember who it was. I know Connor Daly was also going for the win as well, and he got screwed out of it. So I hate it for those guys. On the IndyCar side of things, I know that people are like, I know that the track isn't really as suitable anymore because of NASCAR, doing some changes with some parts of the asphalt with where the bumps are. So something there to also consider on the IndyCar side of things. Uh, at Iowa, and there apparently was also not really much promotion, especially with Hy-Vee backing out of sponsoring the IndyCar race. I don't know if they're even doing the NASCAR race or not as well, but but apparently the track website wasn't really even promoting IndyCar uh, being there. They were only really promoting the NASCAR race. They also were apparently sponsored. The sponsor only did like one or two advertisements 2 weeks before the race, and attendance was also not looking good. So that may end up going hand in hand with a rumor that Iowa could be dropping to just one race next year. Uh, and also ticket sales were not looking good for either race, which may also have had to do with the fact that the concerts that they had the past think 3 years, I think they always had concerts for. I think they had concerts for 3 years when Iowa came back for IndyCar. So I'm thinking just for the safety of the day, it would not come as a surprise that Iowa could go to just one date next year. There's also the talk about. I think we mentioned on a prior episode. Thermal is losing their race. Thermal Club is losing their race. I think what the rumor is saying is that Mexico City might be taking one of the dates. They might be taking the Thermal date, and then that's one
That
of the
might be fun.
that's one of the rumors I've heard. I just hope NASCAR goes back to Mexico City. I would hate Mexico to be one and done for NASCAR, but I wouldn't be upset if I mean, I'd love to see both NASCAR and IndyCar run at Mexico. It's just that, I really hope NASCAR comes back, especially with how the atmosphere went this year. So something to keep an eye on. On the IndyCar side of things, I know there's also talk that Milwaukee may get its second race if Iowa loses one. That might be an alternative, but we already know that Arlington, that street race is happening no matter what. So there is a possibility Iowa could keep two dates, but from what it seems like, Iowa could lose a date. Iowa could lose a date to Arlington, and Thermal could lose its date to Mexico, from what we've heard. And there have been a few other rumors, like Denver coming in 2027. There's been talk about Watkins Glen potentially returning, like for IndyCar. So like, there's a lot up in the air. And then in Formula E, I know we haven't really ever talked about Formula E. We have a new champion crowned. Oliver Rowland is your season 11, I think, Formula E champion. So I think he clinched it early because I think they have a few more races left. So lucky for Jean-Eric Verne, he doesn't have to. Lucky for Jean-Eric Verne, he gets to stay as the only driver with two titles. With Oliver Rowland winning the title there this weekend in Berlin. I think they still have a few more races to go. in Formula E. So I think that's kind of this weekend in racing, but don't remember if there's any other storylines from this past week. Oh, one other thing on the more serious side that just came up this past weekend at Sonoma. I don't know if either of you guys heard about this. Apparently, a
Oh, I
dirt
saw. Yeah, I
dirt
know what you're talking
racer.
about.
There was a dirt racer, Chase Johnson. He was in a wheelchair, and they posted about this. They were taking him back to the, and they were credentialed in the pits, and they were trying to get through to the handicap lot, and they said no, you can't go this way. The security guard there said that. They were asking about it, and then it turned unfortunately pretty violent. And
Yep.
uh, Chase now, I think they said he has like a broken collarbone or something, in addition to the
Yeah,
leg.
they did an MRI scan on him, and
Yeah,
the issue with, like, from what I read, was that the doctors can't figure out if it is from that incident or if it was something new that happened to him.
yeah. So really scary situation there. The security guard who tackled him and apparently has been taken
What I
in.
saw was that
He's
the security guard pushed him, and
yes,
he pushed him hard enough to where it basically just,
he fell out of the
like,
wheelchair
yeah,
and
fell out, basically hit his head, and then got knocked out for some time, and then, well, not really some time, like a couple of seconds,
yeah.
if anything. I don't know how long it was.
The Sonoma County Sheriff was there at the track. He has that security guard has been taken into custody.
Oh,
Now,
yeah, he's already been booked.
yeah,
That's like when I read into it earlier.
yeah, he's been booked multiple times, and that's also kind of scary because at the same, and this is why background checks when you apply for jobs, and this is just general advice. That's why these are so important for whenever you apply for any job. And like, I just don't know if Speedway Motorsports didn't catch that, because I think Speedway Motorsports was
I think it
doing
was Sonoma that did the hiring.
Sonoma. Oh, Sonoma was doing the hiring,
I don't know. Don't quote me on it,
but
because somebody said online that it was like Sonoma that does security hirings or whatever. Like, it's a track by track basis.
yeah. But regardless, whoever was doing the hiring was not doing their job and not doing background checks. And shame on whoever it was. If it was either Speedway Motorsports or Sonoma Raceway, like you got to do these background checks for any job, and that's automatically a massive loss for them and a bad PR moment for the track. So I think that's everything that from this weekend. But going into Dover this week, that's going to be fun. I mean, because well, all three of us are going to be there. I know Sean, you're only going to be there on Friday helping
Yeah, I'm gonna
fast
be
track.
working.
Yeah, you're
I'm
going to be
gonna be
work.
working. Yeah,
You're
I'm
going to be
gonna be
work.
sweating my what's up.
Yeah. But for this week, we have 37 cars entered for Cup. All the chartered cars, well, we think chartered cars, plus the 44 of JJ Yaley. So we do have one, for now, open team because we also got to discuss what's happening with 2311 and Front Row Motorsports because they lost the appeal for that. They lost the appeal. This is apparently the week that NASCAR could take their charters away, and from what it looks like, it is not looking good for their status. Because I also read that NASCAR might also force them to refund the purse money that they would have gotten as a charter team, and only get to keep the money they would have won as an open team. So very scary there. Very scary thought for both 2311 and Front Row Motorsports. And while personally I've been opposed to them doing this, uh, I think just based off of the ramifications that could occur if they indeed do this, 2311 and Front Row Motorsports should make an attempt to settle the case, in my opinion, just based off of those ramifications. And I know me and you were talking about this last night, Brody, but I think you were kind of saying the same thing, and I kind of want to hear
Yeah.
what you have to say about this.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing about, honestly, pretty much echoing you. I don't know. This would be a huge disaster for the sport and charters in general if 23XI doesn't get their way. I just don't understand, and I said this, this is my main point, is this didn't have to happen in the first place. It shouldn't have. Honestly,
Yeah.
that's all. Really,
Yeah,
I repeat myself a lot with it because
yeah,
we talk about it
yeah.
every
I
week.
mean, there would be no lawsuit if there was no charter system in the first place. That's why we're here. Like, is IndyCar gonna have the same issue in 7 years when their charter deal ends? Like, maybe. Like, I hope not, but like everyone's fighting for whoever gets the most, but like everyone's fighting with each other. And I mean, the judge in the case, Kenneth Bell, was like, you guys are gonna, whoever wins this case is going to damage the other side really badly. It would be best if you guys settle. But and I know NASCAR has made an attempt to settle the case, but at the same time, 2311 and Front Row don't seem to have that intention. But me personally, now is the time to settle because they could be out of business very easily from what we're looking at right now. So, like, settle the case. I'm Denny Hamlin. I know you're probably not going to listen to me, but just my advice, settle. I mean, I want you guys. I personally think you guys have a chance to win the lawsuit, but the ramifications that could come up with financially right now are why I think now is the time to unfortunately settle. So
I'm
that's
with you.
just my take on that. As much as I want 2311 and Front Row to make the sport more fair, it's unfortunately to me at this point beating a dead horse. And I hate
Yeah.
saying that because I want them to be successful in this lawsuit, but the stakes are not looking good. So, without further ado, on to the. We also have the Xfinity Series running again. There are 40 cars for 38 spots, which means that 2 cars will go home. Uh, if I could pull up the entry list, there's a lot of blanks, but we can fill in the blanks based off of what we do know. Just gonna, but we can fill in the blanks off of what we know. So from the entry list here, we have and I'm not going by full time drivers, but I think the biggest storyline of the entry list, even if I'm not looking at it yet, is who's not in the 5 car this week. I think we all were going to want to talk about that. All
I'm
3 of you.
surprised whenever Kaz was announced instead of
And
Chris Wright.
yeah, and probably every single person in this chat is going to want to say something as well about Chris Wright, because Chris Wright has parted ways with Our Motorsports. He is no longer driving for Our Motorsports. This has got to be like maybe the 3rd time that he's parted ways with the team mid-year when he signed full time. Like this happened in 2022 when he was with Nice Motorsports, 2023 when he was with Young's, and now it's happened again with Our Motorsports. And that 5 team is not looking good in owner points. So, like they DNQ'd back at Chicago and just barely made the race at Sonoma. They got lucky that the 35 wasn't that fast, but I think now was the time, unfortunately, for Our Motorsports to make the call. But I mean, it doesn't seem like people were too upset out there. But Chris Wright no longer in the 5 car this year. You guys, I imagine the 2 of you have big thoughts about it.
Just have big thoughts. It's just I'm glad that train wreck of a driver just won't be in the race and it'll be more enjoyable. Even if it's 1 car, Chris Wright
Yeah.
is terrible. So
Alex Club also gets his way this week, I guess.
true.
Yeah, you got thoughts, Sean? I know you do.
What?
About Chris Wright?
Yeah.
Got anything to say about Chris Wright? No? I guess not then, but
IO 2024.
I would say, oh, yep, I
IO
know.
2024.
Yep, I know it.
Like,
I know exactly what
yeah.
happened there when you were working that race. I know it.
First time working for a race team, and we got taken out like just after lap 90 or something like that.
Towards the end of
Chris
the
Wright was coming
race.
past us. He went on to the inside, and he just overshot it and completely wrecked the car.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate. But I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of the garage I know wasn't too happy about that. But Chris Wright, will he be in another ride? Could he perhaps be one of the TBAs at Gase? Maybe we'll find out. But if I try to pull up the entry list again, I mean, but that's definitely probably the biggest news from today was that Chris Wright is not driving the 5 car. I mean, so we'll see how Kaz Grala does in the 5. I hope he does good. Hope he makes the race because Kaz, he's a great kid. Well, I don't know why I'm calling him a kid. I mean, he's still in his 20s at the same time. But Kaz Grala, I mean, that ultimately does end up getting one of our friends at the race as a result. Brody, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right?
Fortunately.
Yeah, it does end up getting one of the other guys at the race. But if I pull up the entry list again, uh, yeah, I'm having trouble pulling up the entry list on my phone, but I'll try on the app. But I'll try to remember some of the entries off the top of my head. We have the '07 of Nick Lights, who's gonna be in that car instead of Patrick Emmerling, as Emmerling is running in the modified tour this week. Uh, we also have Ross Chastain again in the 9 car. The 9 car has also passed more guys in owner points, so they've passed, I believe, the 91 in owner points, the 5 in owner points. Like the 9 car, they might have passed. Did they pass the 45 as well in owner points? I'm not 100% sure. But Garrett Smithley also back in the 14. The 17 is going to be Jake Finch. That's a surprising, well, not a surprising debut if you ever paid attention to Dale Jr. Download. So curious to see how Jake Finch does in the 17 as he won the ARCA East race in 2023, and he also is pulling double duty this week. So I don't think Jake has much to worry about. We also have Eric Almirola in the 19. He's won here before in the trucks, so he could easily be a contender. And then we forgot to talk about his deal last week, but Ryan Truex, the 2-time winner, the last 2 back-to-back winner for the Xfinity Series at Dover. Can he go 3 for 3? I don't know, but driving the 24 with funding from the New Jersey state police troopers. We'll see what could happen there. We also got another surprise entry, Raja Karuth in the 32. And apparently this is going to be a multi-race deal. But I'm surprised that he wouldn't be in the 17. I'm surprised that he'd be driving the 32 for Jordan Anderson racing. So I'm curious what's going to happen there. The 35 is TBA. The 45 is going to be LeVar Scott making his debut. That's a really great debut for his home race. The 53 is also TBA. That was supposed to be Takuma Koga. Unfortunately, he is not running the Xfinity race at Dover anymore. He's instead going to prioritize running at Portland for Xfinity instead. And then Leland Honeyman also returns to the 70. Josh Bilicki again also in the 91. So those are some of the notable entrants there. And then we also have the ARCA Menard Series returning after I think 2 weeks off.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
We weren't last week at last.
West ran last week, and then nobody ran the week before that. So
yeah,
we have 25 cars entered for Dover. This is one more than the amount that started last year. So
yeah, and then I believe from this weekend up until September 1st or something like that, or whatever the first weekend of September is all ARCA races.
Yeah, from both Maine and West. So this is also the first of the 4 combo races for the ARCA Menard Series Maine and ARCA Menard Series East. Amongst the notable entrants are the 9 of Blaine Donahue, making his first start since Rockingham. Tony Cosentino is in the 10. This was supposed to be driven by Ed Pompa, although it appears Ed will not be racing this weekend. I would still expect Cosentino to run the whole deal as Pompa's sponsors are still listed. Zachary Tinkle and Takuma Koga also return. Brent Cruz also in the 18, and he ran this race last year for Beneretti. I'm curious how he'll do in the 18. Jake Finch also is in the 25. I'm not listing the full-time drivers. Rick Goodell is in the 31, first race for him since Charlotte. Also going to note that the 34 of Austin Bond is a full-time entry in East, and this is going to be his first trip out to Dover. Andrew Patterson in the 40 in his part-time deal. He's also getting helped by Jordan Anderson racing as part of his deal, so something else to watch for. Timmy Hill is back. Nice to see Timmy Hill back in ARCA after his hard crash at Rockingham. But nice to see Timmy back because this is his home track. Dover is his home track, so I definitely could see why he would want to come back to ARCA for that one. Ryan Rowlett, the bomber pilot in the U.S. Air Force, returns in the 67. And here's a surprising entry. Camden Murphy makes his return. We have not seen that name in a long time, but this is his first ever time running in ARCA, I believe. He has run in Xfinity and trucks before. I think he runs in like Monster Jam, I think. I think he runs
What
in
was his name again?
Camden Murphy.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He's running Monster Jam. Really nice to see him coming back. He's got sponsorship from Dreamer. Uh, we also have the first of 4 races where we will have a son and father duo in the combos. Both Isaac Kitzmiller and Jason Kitzmiller are running. Corey Aiken, also a Air Force veteran, also now a pilot, commercial pilot for Delta Airlines, will be in the 86 for club racing this week. We also got Matt Kemp in the 01 as well. So curious to see what's going to happen there on the ARCA side of things. I'm interested. I know, Sean, you're pitting one of the fast track cars. You don't know which one it is,
Most
though.
likely, don't know yet.
But you are. So we'll see what's going to happen there. But I think it'll be a fun race. Last year was a pretty fun race where Connor Zilish ended up beating out Gio Ruggiero to win, which that was a really fun race last year. I hope this year ends up being pretty fun as well with 25 cars. I think in addition, some of the other storyline, there's a few other storylines to go over this week as well. Going into this weekend in racing, just trying to remember them. Oh, just announced today, Brendan Queen will be in the 07 truck at IRP. Not this week, next week at IRP. That's going to be really fun to watch Brendan Queen pull double duty there, and especially with his success he's had in ARCA. And also, if Brendan Queen wins this week, he can go to Waffle House because there is a Waffle House in Delaware, multiple of them.
Yeah,
So,
the one that we went to in Smyrna with Brayton and Zachary and Preston and whoever the other one was, I forget.
Bobby.
Bobby, right?
And Gavin as well. I don't know if you mentioned Gavin, but I hope for Brendan Queen, if he wins, come over to Waffle House with us. I'll be there, maybe. So Brendan, if you win, you may as well do that. So I think it's going to be a battle between the 18 and the 28 again. Although it should be noted though that Brendan Queen has never raced at Dover, so he does have a bit of a disadvantage there. Just something to still keep an eye on. So trying to remember some of the other headlines we got this week. Just trying to keep my head rolling. Is that anyone remember anything else that's come up this week in racing?
No, but as for Cup, I'm actually gonna get going, but
Oh
first
yeah,
I'm gonna get to my picks for Dover here.
Yep, got to do your picks now. We almost forgot about that.
So I'm gonna get going after I do these picks and just let you guys get to it. But my picks for Dover, I think you can't talk about Dover without talking about the 11. Hamlin has a great win rate there. He has, I believe, 2 wins in the last 6 races. He's been really dominant this decade. Of course, we saw him win last year, and Hamlin's just great. Also, someone good for to pick is Chase Elliott.
Yeah,
He has a win.
in the next gen here.
Yes, he does. And then Dover is actually his record track in top 10s, where he has 10. And again, only 1 win for Elliott there, but he's just super consistent, and he's just been really consistent this year. So we'll pick Elliott and Hamlin, but Hamlin is going to be my number 1 go-to for a track like Dover. Now let's see who's not going to do well, and that's Joey Logano. I think I mentioned him last week as well because he's just not great at Sonoma. But Joey Logano, his best finish is a 16th in the next gen era at Dover. He's not too great. His average finish in the next gen era is 25. Joey is just not his track. And then also someone who is honestly probably one of the worst full-time drivers at Dover is Bubba Wallace.
He wrecked out last year.
He has never finished. Yeah, he got wrecked up with that incident with Bell. He's never finished top 10 in Dover in his entire career. And also, he's been kind of on a downtrend. Same with Byron. He's not finished better than 22nd in the past few weeks. So Vols is just having a downward spiral right now, and so is Byron. I know it's going to be temporary, but Vols is going to be a no-go. My sleeper pick, this is going to be one that's going to surprise both of you, and it's going to be Alex Bowman. So
I'm
he
not
won the
surprised by
Dryden.
that.
Really? That's fair, though. But
He
won
won
the
here in
Dryden
2021.
He won the shortened Dryden 311 in 2021.
No, that wasn't
And
shortened.
oh, that wasn't the shortened one. That was still in 2020. Okay.
No, Bowman won. It was still 400 miles in 2021.
Okay, so that was still 400. Yeah. It's his track with his most career top fives. He's consistent there. And in his last 6 starts, or no, in his last 7 starts at Dover, he's finished in the top 8 6 of those times. So
Yeah.
is he going to contend for a win? May not, just because he hasn't had the best year at all, especially after race 7, race 8. But he's going to be up there. He's my sleeper pick. It's going to be Alex Bowman.
Some other things to note for this week, I just remembered. Goodyear is also bringing a new tire to Dover this week. So they're hoping to get a lot of rubber down at Dover this week. I mean, I'm guessing maybe they're trying to have what happened at Bristol in 2023. No, not 2023, last year, where there was an insane amount of rubber on the track and tire wear. I really hope the same thing happens because there's going to be an insane amount of passing if we get what happened in that race. I really hope that whatever tire they're running this week is going to lead to a lot of rubber laying out. I hope so a lot because I know Dover's not a track where tire wear has happened a lot at, as far as I can remember. So I really hope that we have a lot of tire wear this week at Dover. Oh, one more thing I just remembered. Catherine Legg has also changed around her schedule in the 78. She has added Indianapolis in the 78 to her schedule. So she's going to be running it there. I figured I'd just bring it up now. And Catherine Legg also, instead of running Richmond, she is no longer racing at Richmond. She's going to run at Las Vegas at the end of the year. So wish the best of luck to Catherine. It does appear now that NASCAR has approved her for the intermediates and larger tracks because I know if I can remember correctly, there was some rumblings that Catherine Legg may not have been approved to run the Coke 600. Because I know Catherine, I think, wanted to run the double. She didn't end up getting an Indy 500 deal either. So, from what it seemed like, they wanted her to run as much as she could, and before running larger tracks. And I think that with her last few races, like Sonoma, she ran pretty clean. So I'll give her credit there. So I think that's probably why they're going to let Catherine Legg run these ovals. And she's also bringing in sponsorship again for both races. So, in addition, I know, just trying to remember something else, but sorry, I'm just trying to remember something else. Trackhouse also has announced a new chief operating officer. They have hired Todd Meredith as the organization's president of racing operations. He used to be with Joe Gibbs Racing. So Trackhouse making moves. I mean, maybe they're trying to build up things, especially with Suarez on the way out and Zilish probably on the way in. So, maybe trying to change things up a bit. But I think that's actually about almost everything that we can remember. I mean, any last minute things?
No, I think that's a good point to wrap it up on. We had a great episode today.
Sean, any last minute things?
No, that's really it. I got nothing.
I got one bonus thing, and I kind of give NASCAR a little credit for this. They did a thing where they live streamed the hauler, like an official NASCAR hauler. That was really cool. So I'll give NASCAR credit for that. There were actually hundreds of people who tuned in for that. So I think it's something that maybe they should start doing every week now, considering people seem to be interested in it. So that's going to be it for this week, guys. I am so excited to go to Dover. Same with Brody. Sean, I bet you're excited as well.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of which, they still have it up. Right now. Yeah.
They still have...
Yeah, it's on the highway right now. It's just still image, I believe.
Oh, that's interesting. So...
Yeah, there's... The hauler is still... like, the live stream is still up.
Oh, it's still up. So
Yeah.
that's going to probably be it for us here on 500 miles. Again, thank you, Sean, for joining us this week as our third rotating host. We will have a new surprise host again coming next week that will be announced on the day of again, I'm pretty sure. So with Dover this week, hope the weather doesn't screw things over again. It didn't screw anything last year, but let's hope for the best this year again and that Mother Nature doesn't do anything bad. So again, I'm Adam Relkin. I'm your host of 500 Miles, joined by my co-host
Brody Wojcik.
and Sean Gormely again from UNOH and Fast Track Racing. Nice to have both of you guys on with me this week. We will be back next week recapping Dover. Definitely going to be a lot to talk about there and going into Indianapolis next week. So I'm on Team Ty Dillon this week. I hope he I hope he bests John Hunter. I mean, I love John Hunter Nemechek too, but I hope he does it. So that's going to be it for this week, guys. We'll see you guys next week, and have a great rest of your nights, guys.
See ya.